Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Oh my goodness. The Intimacy Firm is 4 years old today. This day, 2016, 50 of some who I think are the greatest women in the world, who some I know, some I didn't know, they came together to have the very first daring discussions, and the Intimacy Firm was born. I am so truly grateful. I really don't even have the words to even fill this live with gratitude for every person that has watched anything that I've put out, been to any of the conferences that I've spoken at, been at any event that I've spoken at, liked or shared my posts, bought any of our merchandise, any of that. So I just wanted to jump on. Y'all know I don't do lives often. And I know it's a few people who are just like, I need to do lives all the time, but that's just not my jam. But we're here, okay? And so I am just so grateful for all of this. So we're going to jump right in. I want to review some of my 4 favorite moments, some of my top 4 lessons, and we'll have some special guests jumping in. And we already have one already on to talk about the very first daring discussions. Sister Harris, you have to turn your mic on, mother.
Just a moment. Good afternoon.
Oh, come on here, Money Clinic.
I might as well.
Go ahead, Harris. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Hold on, I don't like the way they look. Can you turn your phone long ways, please, just for the optics of it all? Please and thank you. I appreciate you.
Let me turn them just
now, hold on. Now, the elderly. There we go. She ain't the sure acts old all the time. So, Aranissa.
Yes.
Practica. That's our own personal. Kindred. That's our own personal thing.
Right. Let them in.
So we've known each other since what, 2014, right?
Yeah. Yes.
2 years before the Intimacy Firm was born. So tell the people about your experience with the Intimacy Firm, knowing it before it was the Intimacy Firm. You were one of the attendees at the first daring discussions. You actually you offered the prayer to establish the Intimacy Firm as a business. Tell the people what that was like for you.
Well, it was awesome. First of all, I didn't know what to expect. I'm the pearl clincher in the family. So when you said, we're gonna be talking about, certain topics, I came kind of guarded, but I was definitely there for support. I didn't know what to expect, but it was for you, so I'm there. But when I got there, I was greeted with this tremendous support system that you had, and I just, as they say, you feel the love coming in the room. So that kind of took my guard down. And I, of course, experienced all of the splendor of your mom. So she made me feel super comfortable in that setting. Right. And she took over the whole.
Please tell the people how Sister Lisa acted during, because when I think I'm just being mean, but please tell the people how she showed her natural behind.
She felt the need to be the greeter, and then the MC, and then the hostess, and then the usher, and then she took on multiple roles in that setting. And so I think that might have been the first time I really met your mother, and I met all of her and all of her roles and such, right? But definitely the environment took my defenses down. And here's the thing. The Intimacy Firm is willing to talk about what everybody wants to talk about, but we clench our pearls to do it. I was on my way to being married. I wasn't even married. I got married in 2015. So I was in a courtship, Christian courtship. And so, and we discovered through our personal conversations.
Yeah, we don't have time. Sorry. Christian courtship, ma'am.
Yeah,
go on.
All right, Christian courtship. And so, through our personal relationship and discussions, I knew this was an area I needed to open up. And because it was, you helped me open up a daring discussion that I needed to have in my own life. So I think my favorite memory, because some of the stuff still had me kind of like, whew, but I think it was the red, yellow, green exercise that sticks with me the most. And you ran a series of questions about what we would or would not do. And everything like that. And I was sitting there like, You know what I mean? But then I looked around and there were other people that were willing to be vulnerable and willing to talk. So when you read, are you willing to do, a couple times I eased up my yellow and my green, but it allowed me to be free, be honest, transparent. I could still protect my space. I didn't have to tell all my business.
Absolutely.
So it was fun. I let some of my pearls go. I embraced my sexuality in a way that I hadn't done before. And most of all, you know where I'm going. You presented the scriptures in a way, Song of Solomon and what God wants and designs for sex and marriage and all of that kind of stuff. So that really, I'm in from there. So it was great.
Thank you so much. And so we talk a lot about even collaborating with the work that you do with the Money Clinic and stewardship through the lens of discipleship. Yes. And your business came together after I designed your logo. And I know
knew that was going to come up.
Because I'm also a logo and graphic designer on the side, if y'all didn't know.
I'm wearing your design right now.
That's right. Tell the people, let them know. Let them know.
And so, some people in your life, they want the credit, right?
And some people, but I'm not one of those people. I just,
not you. But at the time, our businesses were kind of birthed together. You had already had this vision, which you shared with me, and I kind of was like, well, let's talk about it. And then here's what I want the world to know about Brittany Broaddus and the intimacy firm is that she was definitely concerned about launching my stuff. She pushed me, and then that became like a co-push. And so I said, Brittany, this is my vision. You know where I'm at with the word of God. I have a financial background. What do I do? And I kind of just said, I got this clinic model. I want it to be doctor, surgery, virus, prescription kind of thing. And so you sat down with me, took it home. I poured my heart out and took it home. You designed it's got Christ in there. It's got a dollar sign. It's got the help me Hippocratic oath from the doctors. Is it, which one is it?
Let's go there.
Right. That's the one for all medical professionals. You know what I mean?
You know what
I'm talking about. Help me design my brochure, my wording. You edit it for me. And so and then we started sharing ideas. You would come and say, well, what about this circle? What about this? What about this business card? So it just became this collaboration of sisters pushing sisters, holding up one another, breathing into each other's vision. Watch this, being honest. Don't do that. Don't put that on the brochure. That's going to be a mess. So just total honesty, safe space, co-pushing each other.
Michelle said, hi. You see Michelle? She said, hi. Hey, Michelle.
Is that my girlfriend?
Yeah. Hey. So, and I asked you to come on here, number one, like I said, because you were one of the first, you were at the first during discussions, and you were there in 2014 when do you remember what the first name of it was before it was Intimacy Firm?
No, what was it?
You don't remember?
Now,
well, if you don't remember, then we're gonna save it for nothing. I had a giveaway. I might have had a prize for you, but now you done lost it. So that's
you just give it out. What was the first name?
My last name.
Yeah, what was right. But what was the name the first name? Come on, what was the original name of the
Intimacy Consultants.
Oh yeah, too long.
Thank God. And you know what? And the thing, and before I let you go, I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank you because I don't get super spooky and I don't speak like, oh, what God told me, and and we battle. We battle a lot with that, with the word and what's of God. And you remember you thought that I Love God by Erica. I'm not going to tell you business, but
don't tell my business because
I'm not going to tell you business. But I sat one day it was the women's conference, and Michelle Obama was speaking here in Philadelphia. And I was looking at that and looking at through all the sponsors, and I was sitting there and I said, I was like, I'm going to be there one day. And in the moment, I was still kind of wrestling with the intimacy firm and what it was. With some people were pushing back, like it wasn't a good idea, and like this, things like that. And I literally sat there and I saw the intimacy firm in lights, like on the marquee. And I came into your office, which I spent 85% of my day,
90
of my day in your office. I came into your office and I said, I think I'm gonna go with the intimacy firm. And you said, let's go. And from there, it was just like, it was a lot of voices, but my girlfriend, my homie, like that, let's go was just like, okay, knowing that you aren't as progressive as I am, knowing that you are the pearl clutcher when it comes to sexuality, things like that. And we've had a lot of battles after different podcasts and stuff like that. And you're like, weren't specific enough about this and that, but you never let up on the support, even if you could.
Never. Never.
You know, all of that. You were always there. And I truly, truly appreciate you for that. Thank you for validating that my mother acted a fool at that dairy discussions.
Oh,
Because
she really did. She really did.
God bless her, God rest her soul.
Right.
But I appreciate you. I'll let you go ahead and go. Thank you so much for jumping on for me. And I hope the best and many more for the Money Clinic. And make sure y'all check Erinissa out for Money Clinic Mondays. When
Yes, on Facebook.
And she's going to stop using so many hashtags to make it a little bit easier to read.
I know. So I'm going to do all of that kind of stuff but I still want to say to the world, with all my hashtags, right? Brittany, you're my hero. Like you going to get it. And we don't always agree on the paths and all that. I think that's okay. I think iron sharpens iron. I think we have one common goal, and that's that Christ be lifted up, and that ministry go forth. And it's shaped in all different ways. But I'll be sitting on Facebook like, go ahead, girlfriend. So I'm proud. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm inspired.
Thank you, Boo. I love you.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
So that was my good girlfriend, Erinissa of the Money Clinic. Excuse me. She has been there from the very beginning. I've known her since 2014 when it was just a figment of my imagination, and she was there from the very beginning. And I really appreciate her for that. So we have one more special guest, or another special guest, rather. We may have a couple more that is going to jump in. And I speak a lot oftentimes about my why. I've said you may have seen a lot of posts lately about when your why matches up with their need, you know, and things like that. And I've had to streamline, like, what am I doing this for? And I realized that, and I've also been very vocal about parenthood. If you know me, if you really know me, or if you pay attention to any of my posts, like, I'm very vocal and honest about parenthood and my relationship with my children and things like that. And the conversation that I have, or I have to have with one particular child. And so, of course, I could not do a celebration honoring the work that I've been doing over these last 4 years and what God has blessed me to do without bringing on this special guest. So if he wants to enter the space, come on here, goofy man. We have this big guy. Who are you? Why are you being so silly? Say hello to the people. Stay still. Settle your nerves. Take a deep breath. I know you're nervous. Come on. Take a deep breath. Okay. So say hi.
Hi.
And what is your name?
Mitchell.
Don't talk to me. Talk to the people.
Kaden Mitchell.
And Kaden Mitchell, who are you to me?
Your child.
You're my child.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what is it that mommy does for a living?
She is a sexologist.
I'm a sexologist. Do you know what a sexologist is?
A person who teaches people about their body parts and their relationships.
And their relationship. So, I mean, that's you ain't that far off. Did I tell you that?
No.
You figured it out on your own? How did you figure that out?
How much meetings you have.
From how much meetings I have and things like that. So who's this?
Veronica.
And what does mommy do with Veronica?
She takes her around to shows.
To my shows and stuff? And what do I do with it?
You show different parts of like girls' bodies, like that represents a girl body part, and you show different parts of it.
Okay. And so how do you feel about mommy doing this kind of work?
Good, because you're following your dream.
I'm following my dreams. And what's your dream?
To be an artist.
You want to be an artist? So you gonna draw something for mommy?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that mommy wrote a book?
Mm-hmm.
Did you knew that? Why are you looking at me? Look at the people. Mm-hmm. You knew that? What is it called?
I don't know. Understanding intimacy.
And tell them to grab a copy.
Grab a copy.
And what's mommy's website? Well, I thank you so much. And I just want you to know that all the meetings and all the shows and stuff mommy does it so that, because I ultimately want to make the world a better place for you. Am I doing that right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, baby. All right, go ahead. You can finish playing your game now. That was my baby, my big boy, rather. And he is the one that has so many questions. He sees my books around. I never told him specifically, this is Veronica. So he's one of those kids that's very in tune. And so parents, depending on what you do, he's pushed me to know that I have to kind of practice what I preach. You know what I mean? And so I speak to parents all the time, and I have these conversations out and about. But then working with Caden or raising Caden, I've had to have some of these conversations directly in my own household. And he's not one of the kids, much like I was as a child. He's not one of the kids that you can because I said so, because it doesn't work. He asks tons and tons and tons of questions. And baby boy wants to join us today too, but he don't have no clothes on, so that's not fitting to happen. But that was, so one of my favorite, so let's jump into my 4 favorite moments. We have another special guest that's supposed to be joining us, but I'm not sure if they are going to join yet. Nonetheless, one of my favorite experiences from the intimacy firm was my very first conference. And so I got to speak at Sister Song in New Orleans. And that was so important to me, not only because it was the first conference that I got accepted, but it really taught me and it really helped me lean into my word, like my love for wordplay. So before that, I had submitted the same workshop, to a different conference in Atlanta. And it was originally called, hey sister, originally called Sex and Salvation. And I wanted to go into the ebbs and flows of what it means to be a Christian as it relates to, hey boo, thank you boo, as it relates to sexuality and that kind of thing. I wanted to look at the myths and facts about sexuality as it relates to the Bible, God's heart for sex, all of those things, right? And it was called Sex and Salvation. And it was like, absolutely not, thank you, but no thank you. And I was like discouraged. I was like, oh, Jesus and sexology, it's not gonna work. So a friend of mine, Dr. Natasha Watson, she was like, you have to win them in the description. So I said, okay, I went back to the drawing board. And then I came up with If God Created My Clitoris. So at Sister Song was the first place that I presented If God Created My Clitoris. And I learned that it was the same exact workshop, but the name was more catchy. So the separation of church and sex, If God Created My Clitoris, if God Created My Horniness, which came out in the Help I'm Horny and Single workshop at the Love Hour conference. It was all birthed out of that, and my wordplay, my love for wordplay and my design and things like that, and that commitment to being strategic in my marketing was birthed out of that conference. And I'm really excited. So our other special guest has joined us. And so I'm going to go ahead and add him in right now. Hopefully he act like he got some sense.
Oh,
are you gonna act like you got some sense, sir?
I feel like I for sure have sense.
I know you have it, but I want to know if you're going to act like you have it.
I got you, man. I'm gonna act perfect.
Okay.
I swear to God.
So we have with you the incomparable McKinley Mills. He obviously has stuff going on.
I do because I'm still working. So I'm give me 1 second. I swear to God. No, this is
my people.
Put this
my
on.
people.
Turn the TNT. Just go. My fault, baby.
No problem. So McKinley Mills, my home bro, you've known me since I was what? 20? We're going on what, 12 years now. And so
that's it. It felt like it's been 25.
I mean, it's been a minute. It might even been longer than that. It's been a minute.
Can you see me? Because I can't see me.
I can see you. We've known each other since the last Lakers Spurs series. Final four, the Lakers championship series. That's how long ago that been.
For sure.
And so you not only are you one of those people that I argue with all the time. Like we are Pam and Martin. Like it just happened. But it's the argument not nonsensical, but like in a edifying way where we really dig into some real life concepts, right? So when I started the intimate firm, of course I ran it past you. When I started hearing discussions, of course I ran it past you. And so I asked you to be on here because you were the first host of the Daring Discussions on the Road when I started the barbershop series. And that was what, 20, Mommy was still alive then, so that had to be what, 2016? That was early 2017.
Don't ask me not no years.
So tell them, that was a minute ago. So you were the first privately booked during discussions. So it was a barbershop series, and it was all gentlemen and your law. Is it law? Is that what you call it? And your law. And we really got into stuff. So tell the people what that experience was like for you.
It was interesting because it was a lot of men learning about vaginas, which was
vulvas. I thought you better than that.
But I will say, to give myself credit, you know me, that I knew all the answers to your quiz. I knew all the parts to the vagina.
Vulva. You keep calling it vagina.
Pat on the back. This is
not when you keep saying vagina. I said vulva. I taught you better than that. You keep saying
right. You're right. Okay, I knew all the parts though. I act like I don't know them now, right? All right. I knew the parts. I knew the parts. But it was informative. It was a good time. Like it didn't pressure anybody to think anything. It was just teaching men about women and the things that they should know. So it was an amazing time for sure.
So what was something, if anything, that seeing me in that space, like you've seen me in a number of other spaces before, and a number of some not so pleasant, some pleasant. You've been
talking about the good.
Like only about the good though, but like don't talk about business, but legit been for it all. What was it like shifting and seeing me in that particular element?
Just to see your professional side. I mean, it's not that different. It's okay. I know who you are. Like you, it's not that I didn't think you were capable. It's not like a complete 180. So it's like that's a part of who you already are naturally. So just you walking into that part of your life and saying, all right, well, I'm gonna choose to teach people things that I know. That just was who you already were. You was out there trying to force teach people things when they wasn't asking you no questions. So I already know, like, this was your thing. Like, it's just natural. So it was, I mean, you commanded the room. You do those things naturally anyway. So it was just you being yourself, just with a focus of a specific topic.
Awesome.
The thing I pull away from it, though, honestly, B, is that a lot of men didn't really know much about clit at all. Like, it's like, I thought women was lying. Like, come on now. Right? I mean, at least you had to have asked the question before. Like, if you ain't know where that joint at, like, I mean, I don't got one, so just tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that, like, thing where I'm like a dude that thinks, like, well, I have to automatically know. It's like, I don't know nothing.
Thank you.
So since I'm coming into the space already ignorant, just ask questions. I don't feel embarrassed by it. I mean, at that point in my life, and if there's anything that I need to learn now, then I just ask my wife, like, well, what am I doing something wrong? You know what I mean? Like, so I just was interested in how many men were like, I don't know. And they were like, some of them was married and like together with this woman for 20 years. It's like, bruh, you asking a girl 20 years younger than you something that you should have learned 20 years ago, because your woman has been going through a terrible sexual relationship for a long time.
Right. And so the thing, even this, like, and this is not the purpose of this, but you said something good, so I'm gonna lean into it. You said that it's something that they should have learned a long time ago. But what if, as a black man, like, where are those spaces where black men have the avenue, or men in general have the avenue to?
Oh, it's a major space. I don't think that people ever paid attention to the space where men learn like anatomy and things about women. It's like the house or the bedroom or your phone or a text message. It's like, ask a question. I don't have to go to a class. Like, just the girl don't even have to know the name of her own body part. Just tell me where it feel good at. Like, just tell me what you need.
Absolutely.
If you don't know the name, I ain't tripping. Like,
he needs to know the name.
I get it. I'm not arguing with
he
that.
He needs to know the name.
Sure, she can know the name, but I'm just saying, say if she wasn't that smart. What if the dude wasn't that smart? He's dealing with a non-smart person, and they might not know names of things, but she knows exactly how to tell him what to do.
I'm getting ready to hang up for you.
I'm just saying that you should be able to ask a woman questions.
Now, one thing I will take out of that is one of my favorite sexologist, Shamira, her
old lady,
use your mouth, and that's her thing. She has her use your mouth.
So you gonna hang up on me, and you gonna kick me off, but you saying things like use your mouth. I've known you before you got.
Okay, so sexologist Shamira that's her brand. Use your mouth. It's a playing cards as well as a book where she encourages and empowers people to have the conversation, like what you're saying.
That's dope.
To ask the questions, have the conversation, and with her cards, it asks them like, "How do you like to feel before sex? Where do you see yourself in 3 years? What is something that I do sexually that you don't really
You can't
like?
ask me those questions back to back. Come on.
What I'm saying is that because we're talking about intimacy overall, not just the act of sex, and really just being able to share. Because the thing is that if I can share my hopes and dreams with you, I should be able to share my
intimacy and sexuality aren't.
They're connected. They're interconnected, but they are not. Sex and intimacy are not synonymous. Correct.
Right.
Well, I want to thank you for your support. Like I said, you were the first one to book the barbershop series. When I first wrote the e-guide, you were one of the first eyes that laid on it, and you ripped it to shreds.
Hey, man, that's what friends are for.
And that's what friends are for. I mean, I wound up doing my own thing anyway, but I appreciate.
I mean, that's who you are, but I'm gonna challenge it so it can come out perfect, man.
Absolutely,
and then just make it better.
Okay, and then just tell the people real quick about your new podcast.
Oh, okay. So I got a podcast called Secret Black Emails, where I just discuss everything that Black people talk about, or that Black people want to learn about. I try to talk in a way where I'm not talking at anybody, just talking about things that we all will commonly talk about just because we share our skin tone, or at least like some sort of a culture. So I'm just there to ask questions, talk about whatever we thinking about, and just have a space for Black people of our generation just to have a conversation. That's all.
And Secret Black Emails, where can they find it at?
Spotify. Oh, you can find Secret Black Emails on, if you got a Spotify account, great. If you got an iPhone podcast, the podcast app is free. It's on there. And any way you can find a podcast is there. So awesome. Secret Black Emails, check me out. Let me know what you think.
And thank you. And so just as a recap, you knew that I was you knew that I was going to do this, that this wasn't me stepping out and doing this.
I didn't know you were going to do this, but this is a natural thing for you because you like me. We talk, we communicate. We're going to challenge. We're going to debate things. We're going to ask ourselves questions. We're going to just try to keep refining. And that's naturally who you were. So once you got into like, actually doing this thing, it was like, oh, this makes sense. This just makes perfect sense. That she will find a way to figure out a way to like empower herself just with her voice. Like that makes sense.
And so it's safe to say that because I taught you the full anatomy of the clitoris, that
you didn't teach me that. I asked
your marriage is better because of me.
From Black women for years before.
So your marriage
is a professional on the names.
So your marriage is better. Your marriage is better because of me. Is that basically what you're saying?
Well, yeah, sure, absolutely. I give you all the credit, man.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you so much. Okay.
I appreciate you. Be safe.
Bye. Peace. Woo! Yes. So we are coming down to the end. It is 8 o'clock. I told y'all I wasn't gonna be before y'all long, but it has been 4 years. Again, I cannot thank you enough for all of your support, all of you for tuning in. Every like, every share, every text message, every email, every donation. I want to thank, like I said, I want to thank my children. I want to thank my mother for believing in me. God rest her soul. I want to thank my leaders, Pastor Joseph Brown and Lady Lisette Brown. They are my covering. They pray for me. They are in the trenches with me. When I'm writing something that's too much or I'm not sure, they look over to make sure they give me their thumbs up or thumbs down. And they really just support me and guide me and disciple me through this really strange call that God has called me to. In addition to being my first lady, Lady Brown is one of two of Lily Rose, who is my glam squad. I mean, this I did on my own self. However, when I'm out and about and when I'm looking fabulous, it's more than likely 99% of the time it has become them. I want to thank my sister for always being there for me. I want to thank Aranissa. I want to thank McKinley. I want to thank like I said, sexologist Shamira. I'm always in her text messages, in her inbox, bothering her about this thing. I want to thank Melissa from Sex Positive Families she told me one of the greatest lessons that I've learned over these 4 years is find your people and talk to them. She told me that. And so all of the code switching that I felt like I needed to do when I was in the field of sexology, when I was in like the academic sexology space, I kind of tried to take the church out of my language. And y'all hear my kids in the background. This is when you are a working mother. This is what you have to struggle with. And then when I was in the church space, I kind of code switched and took the academics out of that as well. And she was like, find your people and talk to them, and then you're going to be good. And my business has soared since then. I am like, it was just like invaluable. I want to thank Melissa Fredericks from Love Hour for inviting me on her podcast. That was the first visual podcast that I did. And it was just amazing. That also catapulted me into a different space. And I'm really grateful for her for just being there, praying for me through. And like, I've experienced some tough times lately, and she's been there. I want to thank Vanessa from Vag Esteem. She was the very first podcast that I was on and had me in the space like, oh, I'm a sexologist now, just from being on her. Other things, Tanya Bass, Donna Oriowo, Ask Goody, all of the amazing Black sexologists that are my family, my people. We are connected and we are pushing this thing. We're doing this work together. And I am just so eternally grateful for every single person. If I forgot you, and if you've ever bought anything, booked anything, referred me anything, I think Lashina Duvall, she is like literally everything I post, literally everything I say, I share, she's there. If it's liking it, posting it, sharing it, commenting. If not one, if you like legit, if you go through all of my stuff on Intimacy Firm, there's not one post that I post that she didn't like. And so we've been together since Temple days back in 2009. And I'm so grateful for you. I see you doing your thing, which is with the self-care boutique. I'm like so grateful for you. I'm just so grateful for everybody. I want to thank Michelle, Sherry, and Natasha. They are the people who are responsible for bringing Veronica into my world. They bought me this for my birthday a couple years ago, and it was no turning back. We have been inseparable ever since. And so I want to thank you for that, for sewing into my vision. I want to thank LaShanta Majid. Years ago, before the Intimacy Firm was Mitchell Intimacy Consultants, we had a conversation, and it was called Getting Juicy for Jesus. And it was funny, and it was a joke, and that really kind of cemented our relationship. But she believed in me even then, to the point where she bought me this leather-bound notebook with the Intimacy Firm and like embossed into the leather, where I was able to write down my notes. I wanted to learn sign language, and I was going to do a sex ed 101 in American Sign Language. And like all of those big dreams that I had is there because all of these people, ultimately because God called me, but I'm able to push even when I'm unsure because all of these people believe in me. And I really, truly, there you go. Told you I didn't make that up. I truly appreciate you all. I want you to stay in touch with me. As you know, we have some things going on. Saturday is the last day for the submissions for My Evolve in Me. If you've been paying attention, if you were tuned into any of my Evolve in Me series, then you know that is going to print. And I've gotten some great submissions, and we have 2 more days to submit something if you want to be a part of history when the stories of Black women are being brought front and center about our bodies, about the diversity of what it means to be Black, our stories, and all of those things through the My Evolve in Me anthology. Monday is the last day for the discounted intimacy coaching for the COVID-19. The prices will return to the regular prices, but I am still offering coaching services for Black people who are experiencing financial hardships because of the COVID-19, and those who are not back at work. So if you or somebody you know needs some coaching or counseling and cannot afford it, email me at theintimacykfirm@gmail.com. I'm going to ask you some questions to verify that you are actually in need, but it's not like going to be like a DPH kind of interview or whatever. But I trust that if you're asking, it's because you really need it. Right now, I'm offering free shipping in honor of our anniversary on all of our products with coupon code 4. That's FOUR. Free shipping on free priority shipping, 2-day priority shipping on everything on the site. And again, I am so very grateful. Like I can't thank you enough, from Sister Song to being the first conference that hosted me, to all of you all who tune in every day, who put up with my nonsense, my posts, all of the things, who fell in love with Veronica, who fell in love with now that she has a voice, and that we have the Intimates with Veronica the Vulva. And I hope you didn't see, check out her page on Instagram. You see her getting out the shower, giving you all her vulva hygiene tips. You'll see that. As you say, Hey there, precious. Thank you so much. We have to go. But another thing that I added to my resume this year is show host, talk show host, TV show host, web series host, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to do that job right now. So if you have not gotten enough of me in this moment, then head on over to Authentically Wed's YouTube page, where I will be hosting the Inside Scoop with the Intimacy Firm, the Shoot Your Shot Live virtual dating show pre-show. So that is all I have. Again, thank you so very much. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And we're 4 down and here to many, many more. Wherever the Lord leads, I will follow. Love y'all.